We go live now to talk more about it to Hazem Alghabra, former senior advisor to the U.S. State Department. Joining us now, we did hear from U.S. President Donald Trump. He says that he thinks that there should be peace between Israel and Iran soon. But is that the reality? What type of peace can the U.S. broker right now between Israel and Iran as we stand 3 days into this war?
Thank you for having me. What we have now is a war of attrition. Iran is trying to pressure Israel and the United States by lobbying their ballistic missiles. It's very unfortunate. We have to all remember that in a conventional war, or in any war, these missiles should be targeting potentially the air bases, because these air bases are being used to attack Iran. However, the Iranian regime has chosen to attack urban centers. This is terrorism, using, attacking a civilian population to pressure a political deal. However, away from these distractions that Iranians are trying to insert into this war, there is no daylight between the US and Israel on the objectives of this mission. The objective, as announced by the Israeli government and the US government, is to bring Iran back to the negotiating table and sign a deal that is that can be adhered to, that is well monitored, and at this point, not only to disarm the nuclear program, but also to stop funding terrorism across the region and curtail their ballistic and drone program as well.
You talk about this big picture, Hazem, and the close ties we have seen between U.S. President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. But this was all secretive diplomacy. There were media leaks of this growing daylight between Netanyahu and Trump when really it seems they were on the same page. But how does something like this stay under wraps for so many months? Since November, when U.S. President Donald Trump was elected, was this truly all part of a grander plan?
I think there are a lot of exaggerations on both sides. Some people are saying, "Oh, Israel completely surprised Trump." That's not the case. But also there were, I wouldn't call it disagreements, but misalignment. Because look, this was a beautiful operation. Probably this operation will be taught in Mediterranean history books for decades to come. Conducting such long-range air raids in such continuous tempo. This hasn't happened since World War II, by the way. And it's a blessing, and it's an amazing blessing. And we in the US are a bit envious of Israel's success. Like, not even a single catastrophic failure, technical failure of an airplane. The IAF, the IDF, everybody's doing their job beautifully right now. So going back to the point, it seems that Israel had this operation ready for a month right now. They got Mossad agents on the ground. You have drone trucks roaming Iran. And I think Bibi wanted it to be done a bit sooner. Trump wanted to give diplomacy few more days, few more weeks. And, diplomacy was attempted. Unfortunately, while we were trying to negotiate with Iran, Iran was not only continuing enrichment, they're building warheads. They're starting to build a nuclear warhead. And that brought everything to a point, and the operation was agreed to move ahead. It's pretty simple stuff. But again, we have to stop and look how good of an operation this is. The Israeli people should be proud of their forces.
And Hazem, if this is such a successful operation that we have seen so far, what will it take to get U.S. military personnel involved? Trump says it's not off the table, but why not already take this step, since Israel, it seems, has gotten the ball rolling and pretty much cleared the skies above Tehran?
The question here is not why not get involved, is what do we gain by getting involved? What does Israel gain by the U.S. getting involved? If the U.S. gets involved today, not only the international opinion may shift, Iran will have greater claims that this is a global coordinated attack against its sovereignty, as they do right now. But also, this will open up targets for Iran to use their short-range missiles on. We're talking specifically U.S. bases in the region, potentially U.S. interest, potentially shipping lanes and oil facilities. And this will only prolong the war. This will not make the war shorter. The best picture right now, or the best outcome, is for Iran to come and quote unquote cry uncle at the negotiating table. And this is, by the way, Israel and the U.S. agrees on this. Now, the U.S. is involved in defense. We are working to shoot down drones and missiles with the Israeli air defense. Even Jordan is helping. But again, it's very unfortunate that Iran is conducting terrorist operations by attacking civilian centers on one end. And the Israeli government has been clear there will be casualties. This is a war. But the home front stays strong. It's very strong. It's unfortunate that there will be casualties, but again, if you look at the success of the operation, this may be, a loss that is not acceptable per se, but expected.
Certainly the case. Hazem Alghabra, former senior advisor at the U.S. State Department, thank you so much for giving us your insight into these historic days.
Thank you.